morning, everyone. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our 2015 commencement exercises. Father Leahy, distinguished guests, particularly our commencement speaker, David Simas, spouses, children, family, and friends of our graduates, and on this very special day, members of the Boston College Law School class of 2015, thank you all for joining us for our commencement celebration. I'm very pleased to welcome our new graduates into the ranks of the legal profession, and all of us at BC Law are extremely proud of you. This past year has been another filled with extraordinary events. We've dealt with a devastating outbreak of the Ebola virus. We've seen a rise in terrorist threats from ISIS, an escalating conflict in the Ukraine, and a rash of law enforcement shootings that have left our country staggering under accusations of police brutality and racism. Where's the good news, you say? Well, 2014 was also the year the song Happy became a phenomenon around the world. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised millions for ALS, and Monet Davis became the first girl to pitch a winning game, then a shutout game, in the Little League World Series. She even ended up being the first Little Leaguer on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Now she's writing her memoirs. Take that, LeBron. We're seeing encouraging signs in the job market as well, which I know is something very important to all of you. For the BC Law class of 2014, the number of graduates employed in JD-required jobs jumped over 10%, and overall employment topped 90%. We're even more hopeful for this class and for the future. Yet, as we celebrate these milestones, in the past year, the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act and the 60th anniversary of Brown v. Board of Education, we've seen our country become ever more polarized. Daily headlines seem regularly to emphasize what divides us as a nation. And this is where you, as newly formed lawyers, can take what you've learned and use the law to unite and to heal. The recent riots in Baltimore over the death of Freddie Gray were stopped in their tracks by the announcement of charges being filed by the state's top prosecutor for Baltimore City, Marilyn Mosby, against 6 police officers involved. Charges that do not presume guilt, but that give hope that a fair trial will be held and justice will be served. Marilyn Mosby is one of ours, class of 2005. I bring this up to illustrate what I feel is a very important message. In the face of escalating violence and fear, now is the time to find the courage to come together to seek the truth, rather than splinter apart. At BC Law, we want to foster conversations that lead to change. It's something ingrained in our DNA, part of the Jesuit tradition of respect for all perspectives and backgrounds, and care for the whole person, mind, body, and soul. Marilyn was taught to consider all sides of an argument, to weigh the evidence and move forward. In a recent interview, she said, and I quote, "The foundation of everything I learned was at BC, especially about being a prosecutor. In making the decision and ultimately understanding that the duties and obligations of a prosecutor are to seek justice over convictions, that was instilled in me in my prosecutorial ethics course. That's the foundation of who I am and what I believe, and it started at BC." We can help lead this march toward true equality. As lawyers, you now possess the knowledge and the ability to lead the way in framing and advancing these conversations and delivering real and lasting justice. I'm honored to be the dean of a law school that holds these principles so dear, and I hope you will embrace that promise as future leaders of the profession. It's now my pleasure to introduce Laura McLaughlin, a member of the graduating class of 2015, who will lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is now my great honor to introduce William P. Leahy of the Society of Jesus, President of Boston College. Father Leahy holds a PhD in history from Stanford University, an MA in U.S. history from St. Louis University, and a master's degree in divinity and sacred theology from the Jesuit School of Theology in Berkeley, California. Under his leadership, Boston College has seen remarkable growth through a strategic plan that looks to the 21st century, but that is grounded in the university's past. The university is in the process of adding 100 new faculty positions, including those at the law school. Financial aid has been increased to more than $128 million annually. The university has expanded through the acquisition of the Brighton campus and is in the middle of an ambitious master plan that will translate Boston College's strategic goals into the physical development of the university campus. As he himself has written, quote, Boston College endeavors to educate a new generation of leaders, men and women who will be capable of shaping the future with vision, justice, and charity, with a sense of calling, with a concern for all the human family. Please join me in welcoming Father William P. Leahy.
Dean Rougeau, Mr. Seamus, members of the faculty and staff, parents, spouses, and guests, and especially the 2015 graduates of the Boston College Law School. I am delighted to be able to welcome all of you to campus this morning, and I do that on behalf of the entire Boston College community. We gather here in Conti Forum in a spirit of celebration and gratitude. And we do that because we are celebrating achievement of our graduates and the work of the faculty and staff of our law school. Our graduates and faculty know better than anyone that completing law studies requires discipline, motivation, academic ability, and I think in a particular way, support from family, friends, and teachers. Pursuing a career in the law has always called for commitment, integrity, perseverance, and I would say a desire to serve. And that is particularly true today. Boston College Law School traces its roots back to 1929. And since that year, it has strived to prepare individuals who become lawyers well prepared for legal and other careers. Our desire is that our graduates will not only be competent, but also committed to the highest ethical and professional standards. More than ever, our world needs lawyers and judges who use their talents to protect human rights, work for justice, and ensure the rights of all. In our country, we expect members of the legal profession to be individuals whose lives are marked by honesty, generosity, and compassion. The law remains a noble profession and a wonderful way to serve and to do good. Today reminds us to look back in thanksgiving and also to prepare for the future, especially to rededicate ourselves to using our gifts to help the less fortunate. May God especially bless the graduates this year of the Boston College Law School and enable them in all their future endeavors to share with others their many talents and gifts and to continue working for the better of all. My congratulations and best wishes, and may God continue to bless all of us. Thank you.
My name is Jim Rapetti, and I bring greetings from the faculty to the class of 2015, to their families, and to their loved ones. And I bring our warmest congratulations. The late Father Daniel Degnan, a Jesuit legal educator and past president of St. Peter's College, said that the hallmarks of a Jesuit legal education are that the faculty should work their students to death and love their students to death. Work you to death and love you to death. I imagine that we all have slightly different views about what the exact mix of love and work was in your educational experience at BC. But the basic ingredients of a Jesuit education, work and love, do not stop here. They will continue to exert their influences for the rest of your lives. As lawyers, we stand as the guardians of liberty and justice, and as the instruments of a peaceful resolution of disputes. Our roles and our responsibilities as agents of justice require hard work as we seek to provide our clients with the best representation possible. But this work must always be tempered by love. We must always be sure that the law is developed and applied in a merciful and charitable way that represents and promotes the dignity of all. Never forget, the law exists to improve the human condition. In your careers, you will have many triumphs and face many adversities. But as a Boston College Law graduate, you will never be alone. Your fellow alumni and faculty will always be there for you. Our alumni and faculty will be there to celebrate your triumphs and to guide you through adversity. We will always be there standing behind you, ready to help. The love never goes away. And as you proceed through your careers, your hard work and your love for others will give you a life worth living. Congratulations, and God bless you.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, David Seamus, class of 1995. A native of Taunton, Massachusetts, David is a graduate of Stonehill College. After graduating from BC Law, he went into private practice and sat on the Taunton City Council before his election as county registrar. He then served as Governor Deval Patrick's Deputy Chief of Staff before becoming a central part of the President's 2012 campaign and joining the White House, where he serves as Assistant to the President and Director of the White House Office of Political Strategy and Outreach. David currently lives in Washington, D.C. with his wife, Shauna, and two daughters, Peyton and Rowan. We recently ran a feature story on him in the BC Law Magazine Summer 2014 edition, where he credits the school's commitment to public service as helping to inspire his future career in politics. Please welcome our 2015 commencement speaker, Mr. David Seamus.
Thank you so much, Dean Rougeau, Father Leahy, members of the faculty and staff, distinguished guests, family and friends, and to the newest members of the Boston College Law School Alumni Association, the class of 2015, congratulations to you and what you have done on this amazing day. Congratulations. I want everybody, however, in the class of 2015, especially given the fact that we are surrounded by your moms, your dads, your grandparents, your family, and your friends, all of the people who did the hard work that allowed you to be here today. I want all of you to thank them right now for the work that they did. As a 1995 graduate, it's both humbling and inspiring to be back here 20 years later to address this class. While a great deal has changed over those 20 years, spending just a little bit of time here reminds me of what an amazing place that it is. A timeless commitment to service, a passion for the law, and that deeply rooted Jesuit tradition and the values that animate and inform what this school stands for. Graduates, you will know this increasingly as you leave here, but you are well served by what you have learned, by the community that you are part of, by the friendships that you have made, and that is a lasting legacy of this place and the memory that you will have of it. So congratulations for that. It's by now a standard commencement line to say that you won't remember what was said or, present company included, who said it at your commencement. And that certainly applies to your speaker today, but I do want to urge each and every one of you and your family to focus not just on celebrating the past 3 years, to reveling in your accomplishments, to imagining what comes next, but to focus on something much deeper and something that will stay with you when you leave here. And that's that memory of what motivated you in the first place to be a lawyer. For me, that begins with one of the first memories that I have as a small child. My dad came home from work and he told me that my mom had been involved in an industrial accident at work. She had lost 2 fingers in a silver factory, stamping spoons in my hometown of Taunton, Massachusetts. Even standing here talking to all of you today, I can feel the helplessness that I felt thinking about my mom and wanting to do anything to help her. I have vivid memories of my very young mom at physical therapy, trying to regain strength in her hand. I have memories of my dad coming back late from his factory job. You see, they were both recent immigrants from Portugal. 2 young people who left everything behind. Think about that. Culture, language, family, all predicated on a very simple desire to make sure that they could build a better life for their children who had not been born yet. They came with nothing, but were absolutely rich in their hope for the future. My mom and dad were and are heroes for me to this day. And I'm sure that applies to many of you in this room, both students, faculty, staff, and family and friends. But there was another hero for me at that time that I have such memories of. It was the young lawyer in my hometown of Taunton, Massachusetts, who stood by my mom. And think about what he did. In a moment of fear and anxiety, when all that you had tried to build and thought about building was on the verge of falling apart, he helped her and me and my dad navigate an unfathomable system. I have memories of him sitting with her, explaining to her in her native Portuguese that she had rights and that the company had responsibilities to her. He would calmly tell her what would happen next and why. He would take the time to listen. And she would tell me so many years after, when he sat and listened, she felt validated. She felt heard. I remember being a small child in complete awe of that man. I believe that he would stand with us no matter what, and that his sole mission and goal and purpose, the reason why he went to law school, was for that moment to help my mom. That's when I decided to be a lawyer. And I can tell you, 20 years after sitting where you're sitting today and receiving my JD from this school, that notion of that little boy watching that young lawyer look after my young mom is still the essence of what, for me, being a lawyer is all about. The essence of what's rooted in the Jesuit tradition and the law that you all espouse and will grow to love. Helping people. Service. It's more than the formal practice of law. It's more than what you do. It is why you do it. And so as you begin the next phase of your life, I am asking you to every single day take the moment to think about the why. Find that purpose, whatever your personal story is, that drove you to make the decision that you did today. This moment today can't just be about career or next job or what happens next. Make this moment about your passion, about your values, about your belief. I'm asking you to focus not on the what, but on the why, because I do not believe that no matter what path you take, what choice you make, you won't be able to find the right career, the perfect job, the right area of concentration or focus without finding where you are deeply rooted and what your motivations are to spend the rest of your life doing the work that you're going to do. And focusing on that why is especially important in this era of profound change and transformation that the dean spoke about. You came to this school in the midst of the Great Recession, a period of economic dislocation that this country has not felt in over 70 years. You're poised to begin the next phase of your lives in the midst of the greatest and deepest era of technological innovation and revolution in human history, a period where the very foundation of everything will change dramatically. And that's why that in this era of change and transformation, as you think about what is next for me, what I do, how do I spend the next few years, how do I fulfill whatever purpose, it's precisely that reason why you need to make sure that you adhere to whatever your true north is. And let me tell you why that has been especially true for me and in the improbable path that I took that I could not have imagined 20 years ago when I was sitting where you're sitting. My BC Law School education prepared me for a legal career that went far beyond the traditional practice of law. And over the past 20 years, it allowed me to apply all that I learned in local government, in a small town law firm where I would begin the morning in the local district court doing a criminal case, travel to Fall River to do a housing court case, spend the afternoon in New Bedford at a probate, and then come back to the office and have a small 70-year-old Portuguese woman come in and tell me that her life savings of $5,000, she needed to work with me to find a way to bequeath that to her son. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing practice of law. I went from there to a state legislative committee to become the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Governor of Massachusetts, the head of opinion and polling for the Obama re-election campaign. And so to the extent that you had any of the stats courses that you all dreaded, they will come in handy at some point. And now as an assistant to the President of the United States. In all of these positions, and all of the things that I've done over the past 20 years, that simple concept of service and helping people that was sparked as a young boy and nurtured and cultivated here at Boston College Law School has allowed me to be faithful to my why. I want to give you a few of the principles that for me have been the most important. First, as former Governor Deval Patrick taught me when I worked for him, always take the time to remind yourself and say who you are and what you represent. I was saying to some of your faculty today that as I enter the White House each day to go to work, which is still one of the most surreal and humbling experiences ever, as I cross through the threshold, I always pause and say, remember who you are and what you represent. Because I stand on the shoulders of all of the people who made my life in my work possible. I represent them. You represent them. You have a responsibility to these people. Second, in everything that you do, practice humility. You are where you are today because of lots of hard work and sacrifice. You have earned what you are receiving today. And over the course of your life, you will earn everything that you work for. But here's something else. Always remind yourself that you're also incredibly lucky. I can say that from a whole bunch of experience. Each step that I've taken from law practice to state government to national politics was made possible because of a chance meeting with someone unrelated to anything that I would end up doing. I wish I could say that my path was the result of a carefully executed plan that I hatched as I was sitting where you are today. And yes, a lot of hard work went into it, but it's mixed with a healthy dose of luck. And as people give you a hand up over the course of the next few years, please remember that you have the responsibility to do the same for the people you meet. Third, see people. Truly see them. The wondrous thing for me about that lawyer who stood by my mom was that he truly understood what she was going through. He knew the challenges a young immigrant family faced without 2 paychecks. He appreciated the frustration, the fear, and the anxiety that moments like that bring. Yes, he knew the law, the court system, procedures, and he knew how to do his job. But understand whether you are practicing formally or not, when someone comes to you for guidance, they are asking you for help. At that precise moment when someone seeks out a lawyer, for them it is an admission that they can no longer do by themselves. They are conveying to you one of the most precious things that anybody can, trust. See them as a person first, then as a client. See them, understand them, put yourself in their shoes. So class of 2015, in this time of transformation, where all that we have known is changing rapidly, from the economy to technology to even the demographic and social fiber of this country, stay true to the reason why you decided to become a lawyer, because that will guide you down paths you cannot imagine today, and that will open up for you as you go forward. I have had the greatest honor of serving the President of the United States. As I said, each day that I walk through the gates to go into that historic building, I am humbled by the opportunity to do service and the fact that I work with my colleagues for one simple purpose that has no party, that is shared by Republicans who have worked for Republican presidents, by Democrats who have worked for Democratic presidents, and that's that simple yet amazing notion that we have the ability to make people's lives just a little bit better. It's the most fulfilling work that I have ever had, and probably will ever have. But over the past few years, what has moved me the most, what's been the most fulfilling part of my job, is seeing the work of everyday people striving and pushing themselves to make their families, their communities, and their country a little bit better. These acts of citizenship, acts of responsibility, have left the greatest mark. And invariably, most of these acts, big and small, involve a lawyer. In every single instance, and traveling through the country and listening to people's personal stories, each one of these occasions has been marked by the work of lawyers helping ordinary people do extraordinary things. Let me tell you about a visit that I took with the President of the United States on the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act to the LBJ Library in Austin, Texas. I traveled with him last year to Austin. As we walked into the library's main hall, there were these amazing words that were written on the wall: Medicare, Medicaid, voting rights, civil rights, and immigration. When I saw the word immigration written on the wall, tears filled my eyes, because at that moment I understood that those words, that law, were precisely why I was standing there as an assistant to the president, as the son of Portuguese immigrants. We then walked down a room down the hall into another room where there was a gospel singer named Mavis Staples sitting there, watching a video of herself in 1963 at a freedom rally. And standing behind Miss Staples was Congressman John Lewis, with his hand on her shoulder, remarking what an amazing thing that he was about to introduce a man named Barack Obama on the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. After the president spoke, we returned to that same room, and there were 10 people who had gathered. They had written letters to the president, and they had the opportunity to meet him. The first person in line was a woman whom I will never forget. She burst into tears, and she began to hug the president and said to him repeatedly, "My little boy is alive because of the law that you helped pass." She repeated it over and over again. She then turned to me and said, "Young man," which was amazingly flattering, "do you work for the President of the United States?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do." She said, "Tell everyone you meet that my little boy is alive today because of what you did. All of you did." In that 90-minute period of my life, I saw the stories of ordinary people who had done amazing things. I saw the capacity of individuals with passion and firmly rooted in what they believe tell their stories. But I also saw in each one of those encounters the tangible work of generations of lawyers in practice and in fields unrelated to what happens in a courtroom. Think about it. I saw my parents coming to this country with limited money, with hopes and dreams. And while their efforts, like the efforts of all immigrants, to me is extraordinary, remember, it was made possible by lawyers. Lawyers who drafted the law, lawyers who worked in court to perfect it, lawyers who today work with immigrants, documented and undocumented, to make sure that we continue that work of welcoming, of reimagining, and of hope that's so central to this country. Think about it. I saw John Lewis, a man who had been beaten and jailed, and lead a march over a bridge in Alabama, a true American hero if there ever was one. But in every jail cell during that period and to this day, there are countless lawyers who helped John Lewis, who helped thousands of people, famous and otherwise, help them overcome. Lawyers who argued Brown v. Board, lawyers who today stand before the United States Supreme Court in that long march of civil rights to continue that work of perfecting this union, which is center to what it means to be a lawyer. And finally, I saw a mom meet her president and tell him that she was able to care for her little boy without fear. There is not a parent or grandparent in this hall today who doesn't understand deeply that we would do anything to care for our child. And for that woman, her ability to do what she needed to do was built upon the foundation of thousands of lawyers whose names will never be recorded in any book, who wrote a law, helped pass the law, fought for it in court, to help that mom and others continue to live in a society where we can turn in times of need to each other instead of on each other. In thinking back on those 90 minutes in the effort of ordinary people, I am truly struck by how much of all that I have seen was made possible by people like you, made possible by lawyers. Class of 2015, as you begin your journey, rooted in those Jesuit ideals of service that define this amazing institution, please remember that passage from Scripture that applies to all of us today. Everyone to whom much was given, much will be required. And for all of you, there is indeed a great deal that is required. It is up to you, every single one of you, to take up your role in the values and ethics that you have learned here, and the why that informs what you do. Take it up in the courtrooms, take it up in the boardrooms, take it up everywhere in between. Take up that highest office, as Brandeis said, of citizen. Take it up in your role in your community. Take it up with humility. Take it up by seeing people. Take it up by making sure that you know who you are and what you represent. So that as you leave here today and go on paths that you won't be even able to imagine, please remember that you are part of a long and continuous tradition that go to the vitality and strength of what this country is all about. The fact that no matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, in this country, you can succeed if you try. And the reason we have been so blessed is because for well over 200 years, there has been a cadre of lawyers who have made their life's work perfecting this union, and that work continues. Thank you, good luck, and congratulations.
Congratulations to the Master of Laws class of 2015. They are as follows. Gregory Castillo. Don Chen Du. Eleanor Dube. John Anthony Filoni IV. Cláudio Ferreira Ferraz. Melanie Ann Foley. Yukiko Fujioka. Chiang Gong. Giuliane Silva Gugel. Chi Dong Huang. Judge Hyop Jung. Suk Yo Kim. Ling Liang. Kanel Magdan. Bara Osama Musa. Maria Fernanda Sosa Reed. Yi Yuan.
It is now our pleasure to introduce the recipients of the degree of Juris Doctor for the class of 2015. Tobin G. Abraham. Yassine Elizabeth Akbari, cum laude. Karime Akalu. Darius Russell Alam. Stephen Oliver Anderson Garrison, cum laude. Omar Daniel Arnouk. Jonathan Robert Atwater. Eric Thaddeus Baginski. Elizabeth Kelly Berry. Stephen Lawrence Bartlett, cum laude. Kristen D. Berkey. Jennifer Marie Bernazzani. Colin Michael Brady. Merrill E. Breeden. Dylan Michael Brennan. Peter Charles Brockmeyer. Matthew W. Brooks, magna cum laude. Caitlin Julia Brown, cum laude. Tui Dien Bui. Jacqueline E. Burke, cum laude. Jenna Lynn Burston. Natalia Marie Cabrera, cum laude. Jalikatu Kamara. Eleanor B. Cashmore, cum laude. John Joseph Casper. Colin McCann Cerelio. Harley Chia. Hanford Y. Chu. Christian Chorba. Ha Young Chung. Mark Andrew Cloutier, magna cum laude. Scott J. Coleman. Clara Elizabeth Conklin. Cadesby Bronner Cooper. Andrew Charles Crawford, cum laude. Roberto Antonio Craig. Michael R. Creda, cum laude. Kelly A. Crisp. Brian Christopher Curran, magna cum laude. Stephanie Lynn Curtin, cum laude. Lauren Danskin. Diane Elizabeth Da Silva, cum laude. She's a December graduate. Ethan J. Davis, cum laude. Isabella de la Guardia Arosemena. Megan Leslie Dean. Nishant Mehul Daria. Catherine M. DeVita, cum laude. Nathaniel Dolcourt Silver, magna cum laude. Sean Lawson Donahue, cum laude. Nathaniel Chen Donahue. Matthew J. Donahue. Nicholas S. Dorff, cum laude. Robert T. Dunlap. Benjamin Noah Ernst, magna cum laude. Mohammed T. Faruqi. Bradley C. Fay II, cum laude. James Michael Fee. Elizabeth J. Fegrius. Catherine Foyer. Brittany R. Filker. Kelly W. Fisher. Jennifer V. Flynn. Catherine Kelly Foote. Lucia D'Agostino Folks. Anthony S. Franco Macaro. Maria Mercedes Guyton, cum laude. Laura Rose Gallo. Michael R. Garcia, cum laude. Chloe Elise Gargillo. Shannon A. Gawkin. Gabrielle Nicole Geller. Lindsay Ann Getman. Gabriel M. Gil Austern, magna cum laude. John Samuel Goodlander, magna cum laude. Samuel Gelder Gottstein, cum laude. Elise E. Gowdy Wright. Lauren Elizabeth Parr. Andrew John Hale, magna cum laude. Woo! Brody Hale. Benjamin Ostler Hanna. Harry Dennett Hansen, summa cum laude. Sydney Lee Hansen, cum laude. Adam Joel Harmon. Alphonse Francisco Floro Harris. Valley N. Hausberg, cum laude. Eric Lloyd Hawkins, summa cum laude. Jennifer A. Henricks, magna cum laude. Jacob Hentoff, cum laude. Quinn R. Hetrick. Kelly L. Hinkle, cum laude. Samuel Ryan Hoff. Kieran Ashley Huff. Colleen Mary Hoyt, cum laude. Jonathan Hugh. Catherine Elise Huang. Kate A. Hewlett. Catherine Amelia Highland. David M. Ianella. Andrew D. Einesen. Angela Christine James, cum laude. Ki Chan Wen Jun. Kirsa Kathleen Johnson. Shannon M. Johnson. Samuel R. Jones, magna cum laude. Sylvia Ju. John Lawrence Joy. Michael Christopher Joyce. Are you doing the case or am I? Remy Kathawa. Michael B. Katz, cum laude. Patrick Kevin Keating. Catherine W. Kendall, cum laude. Avery E. Keppel. Keith Allen Kessinger, II, cum laude. Lillian Cowrie. May Cowrie, cum laude. Han Saw Kim. Joyce H. Kim. Natasha Antonia King. Emma A. Kingdon, cum laude. Daniel Dongmin Ko, cum laude. Pia Christine Kirkovelis, cum laude.
Robert D. Langevin, cum laude. Daniel Joseph Lavoie. Andrew E. Lee. Padraic James Lahane. Nicholas Scott Lesson, magna cum laude. Lawton C. Lung. Benjamin Levine. Harrison Adam Levy. Corey Joshua Lewis. Luke G. Liakos. Kathy M. Leon. Julia C. Lindsay, magna cum laude. James Casey Long, magna cum laude. Sarah Ann Lonks, magna cum laude. Stephen J. McGee, cum laude. Ronald W. Makawa. Colleen M. Maker. Marissa Charlie Mammon. Brian James Manikowski. Matthew Raymond Manuzak. Sarandis G. Markopoulos. Richard Joseph Marks. Anne Marie Martin. David S. Martin, magna cum laude. Nicholas M. Machino. Anthony Michael Macero, magna cum laude. Christy A. Mason. Gabriel M. Mason. Ryan F. McCaffrey. Laura Helen McLaughlin. Jade Alexis McNallen. Christopher G. McSweeney.
McPherson.
Christopher G. McPherson. Sorry. Mary Healy McWhorter.
Sweeney.
John Thomas McSweeney.
I already said that.
Rachel Nicole Metch. Catherine Elise Mandola, cum laude. Elizabeth Benson Mims, cum laude. Michael J. Mitchell, cum laude. Rebecca Morgan Mitchell, cum laude. Alexandria Aurelia Metropolis. Aaron Elizabeth Moody. Catherine Clancy Moore. Michaela Marie Moore. Catherine Elizabeth Maurice Bickerton. Brian Patrick Mulcahy. Melina Lisette Munoz. Rita Claire Reardon Muse. Nevin N. Nanashi. Stephen H. Wen. Tankit T. Wen. Xin Yin Yi. Tricia Maria Nicholson, cum laude. Precious E. Nwanko, cum laude. Evan O'Connor, cum laude. Leonardo Obaya, Jr. Vishal J. Parikh. Evan Frost Patterson. Matthew P. Perkins. Stephen Joseph Petkovsek. Thomas W. Falzer, cum laude. Israel Francisco Piedra. Albert Ross Pini III. Nicole Elizabeth Piquet. Tevia Kelsey Pollard. Santiago Hernan Posas. Mark Thomas Potash, magna cum laude. Catherine Burns Puccio, cum laude. Christopher John Pullman. Damon J. Quattrochi. Craig A. Randall, summa cum laude. Benjamin Smith Riley, cum laude. Hannah Catherine Reisdorf. Alvin Lee Reynolds, Jr. Anthony J. Rizzo. Alexander M. Robbins. David Adams Roberts. Nathan B. Roberts, cum laude. Colleen Duggan Robinson, cum laude. Elizabeth Andrea Rod, magna cum laude. Monica Nicole Rodriguez. Walter A. Rodriguez. Amy Rachel Rubin. Alejandra Cristina Salinas, cum laude. Michael Samuel. Jeremy E. Sanders. Zachary D. Sandman. Kevin M. Sorrow. Kate Scanlon, magna cum laude. Kelly Schwartz, cum laude. Jordan Lee Schwint. Craig M. Shepard. Yumna Siddiq. John M. Simon, cum laude. Jordan A. Smith, cum laude. Olcott Dylan Smith. Melanie Nicole Ward Spector. Gregory Wellington Steiner. John Francis Sutherland Stern, summa cum laude. Meredith Irene Stivers. Elena Catherine Sullivan. Erica Scott Thompson, cum laude. Michael Patrick Tierney. Ryan C. Tompkins. Elizabeth Ann Trafton, summa cum laude. Alvin Lee Valentine II, cum laude. Justin Vukovic. Tucker Worthington Wade. Christopher Kim Warren, cum laude. Michael Edward Welsh, cum laude. Adam Weinstein. Jessica J. Wickstrom. Andrew Quinn Wilson, cum laude. Anne Marie Woods, magna cum laude. Charles A. Wright. Andrew W. Zariello, cum laude. Hong Zhang. Zhaozhou Zhang. Allison J. Zimmern.
And graduating in December of 2014, but part of the class of 2015, is a representative of that class, Jamie Lynn Curtin. And the rest of the graduates for that group are Margaret M. Hinchy, Jason M. Cruzen, Noam Leron, Jeffrey R. Locke, Sarah Elizabeth McLaughlin, and Michael Eston Trummel, who graduated cum laude. Let's hear it for the class of 2015.
Well, congratulations to all of our graduates. And now I'd like to announce a few awards for this class, the remaining awards. Last night we had an awards ceremony in which we presented most of the awards, but we save a few for the actual graduation ceremony. Our first award is the Susan Grant Desmarais Award for Public Service Achievement and Leadership. Our Susan Grant Desmarais winner is Matthew W. Brooks. Matt is one of our public service scholars, and he's lived up to that honor and that commitment at every turn in law school. He has been a mentor for other students and a leader, both as our Public Interest Law Foundation, or PILF, president, and as a respected peer. Matt truly believed in and worked to ensure that PILF was an organization where students could come who wanted to build the public interest community and learn about opportunities while at BC. He worked with faculty and the administration to expand funding opportunities. Matt's commitment to public interest is absolute and unwavering. He is an inspiration to others dedicated to public service, as well as to those entering private law, but who believe strongly in the need to equalize accessibility to legal services. Matt has interned at Make the Road, New York, the National Consumer Law Center, and Greater Boston Legal Services, focusing on housing and foreclosure issues to help low-income families and individuals keep their homes. He will begin his career learning the intricacies of bankruptcy law as the clerk to Chief Justice Barbara Hauser in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Dallas. Congratulations to you. The next award is the St. Thomas More Award for the student who exemplifies the intellectual, spiritual, and moral qualities of St. Thomas More. One of our highest honors, the St. Thomas More Award, is named for a Catholic saint who famously put his devotion to faith and morality above a love of worldly power and position. This year's St. Thomas More Award winner, Andrew John Hale, who indeed exemplifies his many virtues. Through a very impressive array of activities, Andrew has demonstrated his deeply rooted and single-minded care for others, both within the law school community and especially for those outside our community whom society has relegated to its margins. Andrew integrates a compassionate spirituality, he's a member of the Christian Legal Society, with a fine intellect, he's on the editorial staff of the BC Law Review. With seemingly limitless energy, he has steadfastly used his talents to benefit immigrants, to understand the evils of genocide. As the winner of an ethics fellowship, he traveled to Auschwitz. To reflect upon racial division in the US, he was voted best presenter for his grad talk on why I am the only white guy on my Dorchester street. to defend indigent accused persons through the BC Defenders Clinic, and to aid a convicted man held for an intolerable length of time in solitary confinement in violation of UN standards on human rights. Within our community, Andrew has been an active participant and leader of the sidebar and public interest retreats, enriching not only his own thoughtfulness on how best to use his legal talents, but also aiding fellow students to be similarly reflective. In the words of one of his classmates, quote, "If there is a future saint among us at BC Law, it is Andrew." After graduation, Andrew will clerk for the Honorable Paul J. Barbadoro, United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire. Congratulations, Andrew. Our next award is the Philip Joseph Privatera Class of '95 Commencement Award for exceptional contributions through scholarship and commitment to service. We will next honor this recipient. The Privatera Award recognizes an individual who is an extraordinary student leader as well as an excellent scholar. Our award winner this year is Kelly Schwartz. Kelly, who graduates today cum laude, has excelled in everything she has done. She served as the vice president of our Law School Association, a senior editor on the Law Review, on which she has been twice published, an organizer of the Joint Task Force on Women's Issues, a member of the LSA Diversity Committee, a teaching assistant, and a student advocate within the Ninth Circuit Appeals Program. She's been dedicated to her work and follows through on all of her commitments. She cares deeply about making positive changes to the law school. Her classmates consistently describe her as dedicated, intelligent, hardworking, and kind. Her judgment is sound and true, and she leads by example. We recognize her today for all that she has contributed, both as a student leader and as a student. After graduation, Kelly will begin her career as an associate at the firm of Goulston Stores in Boston. Congratulations, Kelly. The final award is the Attorney Michael A. Flanagan Award for the highest academic rank. This year's Michael Flanagan Award winner is Elizabeth Trafton, our valedictorian. Elizabeth is graduating summa cum laude with a grade point average of 3.903. Elizabeth was a staff writer and a senior editor on the Boston College Law Review and a student attorney in our civil litigation clinic. Liz has shown herself to be a quintessential, well-rounded lawyer, demonstrating skilled research, stellar analysis, clear and compelling legal writing, fiery advocacy, and supportive counseling. She is thoughtful, ethical, and professional, and she's proven herself to be a gifted and creative strategist. After graduation, Liz will join the litigation department of the law firm of Cooley LLP in Boston. So once again, congratulations to the entire class of 2015, and especially tonight, at this moment, to our award winners. Congratulations.
Father Leahy, Dean Rougeau, Mr. Seamus, faculty and staff, family, friends, distinguished guests, and most importantly, graduates of the class of 2015, good morning. Congratulations, 2015s. We are officially LLMs and JDs. technically speaking, our law school experience began on August 27, 2012. But in reality, the pathway to law school began many years ago, thanks to the formative years of education we received in school, at home, on stage, through athletics, or in a place of worship. We owe a great deal of thanks to those who have helped us gain admission to this great school. So first, on behalf of the graduates, I will speak for a moment to the parents, loved ones, coaches, and mentors that are with us here today, some in spirit. Simply put, the 2015 graduates of Boston College Law School would not be on this campus, let alone walking this stage, without the parents who have raised us, the friends who have loved us despite being stressed out law students, and the coaches and mentors who have cheered us on through both successes and failures. I asked my classmates to send along statements of gratitude, thanking those who have impacted our journeys to this stage. With their permission, of course, I will share some of their responses. Alvin Reynolds would like to thank his parents and his high school football coach, Coach Whitman, for teaching him the value of hard work. Catherine Mendola thanks her Graham Smith in memoriam for always putting things into perspective during their phone calls on the walk up the hill from the lower parking lot. One student would like to thank the musicians who have provided a creative outlet during these intense 3 years and helped to show that passions outside the classroom are as important to our development as our intellectual pursuits. We are grateful for all of the laughs, encouragement, financial support, and guidance that our family and friends have given so selflessly. We share this degree with everyone who made it possible to wear these funny hats and velvet stripes today. Next, I will speak for a moment to the faculty, administrators, and staff at BC Law. Educators at BC Law care about students as people. Professors and staff have welcomed us into their homes for dinner and introduced us to their families. Even Dean Rougeau has enjoyed some drinks and shenanigans on the sidebar retreat with students and welcomed us into his home for jambalaya to benefit PILF. Our professors, the involved alumni we have met through BC Law, and the faculty and administrators here have given us invaluable models for how to be lawyers who are both zealous and human. Through their examples, we have been provided a roadmap for how to live a meaningful life in the law. To thank them, I did an all-call to my classmates. And this is just a snapshot. Every single graduate has been impacted, in particular, by a specific professor, administrator, or staffer. Kelly Schwartz would like to thank Dean West for being the best conversation partner around and the ultimate law school mom. Andrew Hale thanks Professor Cassidy for being the sole reason he has stayed in shape during law school, due to their afternoon jogs around Newton together. I would like to thank Professor Bloom for teaching me the real meaning of a triple eagle, when you can get all 3 meals in one day free at BC Law. Students are grateful to Professor Hillinger, the staff of Career Services, and their clinical professors and practitioner mentors for their leadership by example. And of course, we all thank Dorita, Seeley, Blanca, and Alton from Dining Services for their smiles, hugs, support, and overnight stays during blizzard after blizzard. Community members from every aspect of this campus have helped to define our law school experience and have reminded us to simply be kind before being right. It is that sense of community that has motivated the class of 2015 to use our class gift campaign to fully fund a postgraduate public interest fellowship for a member of the class of 2016. We are currently at 82% participation and have raised over $5,700 towards our $10,000 goal. We welcome donations today and ongoing through May 31st, the close of the fiscal year. Our deepest thanks are due to BC Law alumni David Weinstein, whose generous match proposal has made this effort possible, and to all those who have supported this cause so far. Your generosity means so much and has the potential to make a real impact on our community. And now to the graduates. It has been a true honor and a privilege to learn alongside you for the past 3 years. We have grown up together a bit in law school. We have cried together, laughed together, sometimes at the same time, and usually around memo due dates or finals. And we found friendships and relationships that we will carry forth with us into our lives and careers. We survived the Arctic tundra of the East Wing basement, along with the many heating and cooling problems of Stewart Hall. We survived 7-hour, or worse yet, 24-hour take-home exams that, contrary to professors' insistence, do not take the few hours they promised. We survived a class-wide hangover in December 2012 after finishing our first semester of 1L. And we may have accidentally damaged some property at the Killington Ski Lodge, but miraculously managed to come back intact. We were mighty sailors of 3 Boston Harbor boat cruises and attended approximately 24 bar reviews. We learned that 2 spaces after a period are obviously much better than 1, and we speak a new language now with words like tort and annuity and disposition. And whether we like it or not, we will never be able to watch another cop show or legal drama the way we did before law school. But without law school, we wouldn't know friends like Mark Potash, whose anonymous advocate left the sweetest note detailing Mark's many accomplishments, commitment to the law school, and unparalleled loyalty as a friend. Without BC Law, Sydney Hansen wouldn't have discovered her love for softball. She'd like to give a shout out to the Rights to Bear Arms team, not only for helping to win the 2014-2015 Law School Softball Championship, but for also becoming some of the best friends she could ask for. Nicole Hausberg would like to thank Catherine Morrissey for the much-needed surprise pumpkin spice lattes on the early mornings of Criminal Procedure Class 3L Fall. Really nice. You are committed to learning and growing as lawyers. You will go on to be leaders in business, immigration, juvenile or criminal justice, international law, and probably even serve in elected office in Washington, D.C. or your local communities. With great conviction, or trust in estates, or your work in community organizing. I am moved by the great things I know the Boston College Law School class of 2015 will do, both collectively and as individuals. We have spent 3 years complaining about law school, but as we go off into the world, many of us may spend the rest of our lives looking to recreate the friendships and experiences we've gained here. Some of us share your reaction. Remember the faces and stories around you today. We will always be bound together by our common experiences, our desire to make an impact through the law, and as Boston College Law School graduates. We will face many challenges in the years ahead, both personal and professional. We will have a case or an experience with a supervising attorney that will force us to ask, do I really want to be a lawyer? And when those moments happen, we can return to the sense of community we've developed here at BC Law. We can lean on each other and make use of the unique resources at BC that will always be available to us, even now that we are alumni, because being an Eagle is a lifetime adventure. I will close by expressing my hopes for our class in the years to come. I hope that our years at BC Law teach us to always be kind to our colleagues, even if they say when to be you or are not kind back. I hope that we will pay it forward to future BC Law grads. I hope that when we are in positions of influence, we will lend a hand or advocate on a student's behalf. I hope that we will always stay connected in return for reunions. I hope that when we get a case that's not our specialty, we will call up a classmate and make a referral. I hope that we remember to do the things that we love outside of work and continue to be the dynamic, dimensional people that define this student body. I hope that we find love, create families, and come back to BC Law with our families. I hope that we continue to treasure the people who have supported us. And I hope that we find careers in the law that are fulfilling and generative. The only reason this degree matters is so that it can take life to help the people around us. It has been a true honor to be your student government president, and I would like to thank each one of you for that gift. We may go our separate ways next year, but always remember to treasure the times that we shared, and let us never be strangers to one another, because we are the Boston College Law School class of 2015, now and forever. Thank you. I would now like to welcome Reverend Nanine Gowdy of the Unitarian Universalist Church to deliver the benediction. Reverend Nanine Gowdy was ordained at Andover Newton Theological Seminary on May 24, 1982, just a short walking distance from the law school. She is the mother of 2 children, including the amazing Elise Gowdy Wright, BC Law class of 2015. Without further ado, Reverend Gowdy.
Let us pray. Spirit of love, which brings us life, we are so grateful for the past 3 years. The scary year of 1L, the busy year of 2L, and the forward-looking year of 3L. We are grateful for the support of family, friends, and the BC Law School's faculty and staff. But most of all, we are grateful to have arrived at this day, graduation. We know we are fortunate to even be here. Not everyone is so lucky. May the spirit of love stay with us all as you enter or re-enter the workaday world. And may we use our gratefulness to make the world a better place for everyone. So be it. Amen.
So that concludes our commencement ceremony. Congratulations once again to all of our graduates, and thanks to our guests for their support of them and for their participation in making them the people that they are. We thank you for being with us here today. Congratulations.